Welcome back to another installment of your weekly top 10. These are the hottest selling cards in Magic the Gathering this week, and of course, what would this week be without discussing what's going on with Modern Horizons 3 and its domination of the singles market. Stay tuned for this video because we have a lot of content to cover and a lot of cards that you will need to know about. Hi everyone and welcome back. MTG Moxman here, and thank you again for hanging out with me for another weekly installment of our top 10 video. Now in today's video, a reminder that if you enjoyed today's content, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you're buying any of these cards you see, or maybe just some other Magic cards on TCG Player, don't forget to use my affiliate link. It's in the description of this video and it helps support my channel. Now let's jump into the number 10 card. This is Ulamog the Defiler. Now this one kind of exceeded my expectations this week as it comes in with 2,357 sales, but the price tag of $65 puts this on another level. That's $157,205 in total sales volume. This thing is not just a monster, it's a monster of a moneymaker. Even with the price dipping, this thing offers a lot. Let's not forget that this is a legendary creature Eldrazi 7/7, and when you cast this spell, target opponent exiles half of their library, rounded up. That said cast the spell, not resolve. As soon as you cast it, you're doing it. Crazy. Ward. Sacrifice 2 permanents. You want to target this thing? You're going to pay. And then you've got Ulamog the Defiler enters the battlefield with a number of +1/+1 counters on it equal to the greatest mana value. This thing offers so much, it's insane. Now let's jump over to our number 9 card this week. This is going to be the Echoes of Eternity, coming in with 2,840 sales, or $33,426 in total sales action. This card's lost a lot of its luster the longer it's been out as a pre-order. We've seen this card slip in value all the way down to $11.77 is your average kind of price right now. You can find it on the market even cheaper, guys. Just look out for it. It is a great card. For what you're paying, it says, a Kindred Enchantment Eldrazi. If a trigger ability of a colorless spell you control or another colorless permanent you control triggers, it triggers an additional time. Whenever you cast a colorless spell, copy it, and you may choose new targets for the copy. This is a longer lasting kind of card to think about for the future of all other colorless spells that may come down the pipeline later. Just remember that, guys. It's not that expensive to get in on the ground floor for a card like this. Now, our number 8 card this week, It That Heralds the End. I love these kind of world-ending entropic views, man. Call of Cthulhu. 3,212 sales for this card. It's just a 2/2 for 2 mana. Now, this thing's like a 79-cent card. It's not expensive. Total sales volume, we're talking $2,458. But you really shouldn't forget what this card does because a lot of players will be paying attention to it. It's not legendary. You can have more than one. And let's see what this thing does. Now, as an Eldrazi drone that's 2/2, it says colorless spells you cast with mana value 7 or greater cost 1 less to cast, and other colorless creatures you control get +1/+1. It feels like it's on a whole sliver vibe for this card right now, but let's not forget that the low casting cost, blockability, the fact it can be shocked and use up spells and mana, but it still gives you the benefit if you had 4 of these in a modern deck. There's a lot going on here that shouldn't be ignored. I love this card, okay, especially for less than $1. I'm definitely putting some into my 60-card Eldrazi deck. Now let's go ahead and let's check out the only fetch land that is on the list this week. This is Windswept Heath. Now this card has lost a lot of volume, a lot of value. 4,003 sales. I thought it was actually going to be higher. It's $11.54 on average, but the market is $9.83. I've seen it around $10 depending on where you're looking, US pricing. And this thing here is at $46,194.62 of total sales volume. That's an amazing amount of sales volume, but I expected to see Polluted Delta, Flooded Strands. No, all those cards fall way short of what my expectations would have been for Modern Horizons 3. So let's keep that in mind, and I apologize for the background noise. My volume was set a little bit higher. Nothing I can do about it now. We're not going back, man. It's Saturday morning. We're letting this thing play. Now, let's not forget that fetch lands are going to be highly utilized in all kinds of decks, and the price may rebound on this. I'm just not sure it's going to rebound in the next 90 days. It's going to take a while and see how much actually gets flushed onto the market because we still have boxes being bought, and still those boxes are going to be open. So we got to remember that, guys. Now, Okay, Nadu, the Winged Wisdom. Nadu, whatever. 4,386 sales. That's $95,965.68 of total sales volume to come into the number 6 position. $21.88. This is actually a lot higher than I would have thought as the average, considering the marketplace says it's $11.08. This card in Canada is around $20, so you gotta pay attention to that stuff. But what are we getting for our money? Well, it's a 3/4 for 3. That's already kind of insane. For 1 green, 1 blue, fits with all kinds of decks already. Great synergy for commander decks. You notice I didn't say modern, I say commander. It is a flying bird wizard, and it says creatures you control. Whenever this creature becomes the target of a spell or ability, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a land card, put it onto the battlefield. Otherwise, put it into your hand. It can only trigger twice in a turn. That's opponent's turns too. Insane. The Null Elemental Blast. That's right, guy. This thing has come off of a huge high. It's super cheap now. It's $1.96 and still falling. But that doesn't mean that 4,521 sales means you should ignore it, because that is $8,861.16. That means somebody out there believes this card is going to rebound at some point and climb back up to the $3 to $4 mark, and somebody who buys 500 copies is hoping to make $500-600 when they start trading out sets of 4 about 6 months from now, when the money moves on to things like Bloomburrow and Duskmorn. Don't forget the speculators are in this market, and they are really paying attention to Modern Horizons 3 because they got the template of Modern Horizons and Modern Horizons 2. You can't ignore the market space or you will pay dearly. You've got to be ahead of it, be beyond the curve, pay attention to where the sales are happening so you always stay ahead and don't get ripped off or just drain your resources on cards you could have got a lot cheaper. It's not always a rip-off, it's just, time will tell. Now, our next card. This is the Fanatic of Rhonas, okay? This one I didn't expect to be here at all, but let's go over this card. It's got 4,957 sales. That's actually $25,627.69 of sales action. This thing comes in at an average price of $5.17 with an average price of $3.97, although I personally saw it around the $5 mark. I didn't find any cheaper than that, so that's kind of where I'm sticking with this thing on the market. So it's a 1/4, but what are we getting here for this couple of casting costs? Well, it adds 1 green to your mana pool. It has Ferocious, and it says add 4 to your mana pool. Activate only if you control a creature with power 4 or greater. It has Eternalize, 2 green, 2 generic. Exile this card from your graveyard. Create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a 4/4 black zombie snake druid with no mana cost. It's crazy because then if you castlize it for Eternalize, you're going to say, oh, it can already tap for 4 mana, which is insane. But you can also use small things like Giant Growth to pump it up temporarily to get the 4 mana. It's insane to think what you can do with cards like that. But anyway, let's move this on because that card for that price is a pretty good deal. This is the Warren Soultrader. 5,632 sales. This was on the list last week. It's just jumped up a few spots because more sales are coming in as the price falls down. $47,703.04. Let's not forget the keywords here. It's a creature, zombie, goblin, wizard. This thing costs 1 black, 2 generic. This is an amazing card. Because of all the creature types it exemplifies, you can do a lot with a card like this. It doesn't have to be constrained under one creature type. It says pay 1 life, sacrifice another creature, create a treasure token. It's an artifact that says sacrifice it for 1 mana of any color. There's a lot going on there. It doesn't tap to do it. You just got to pay a life. There's all kinds of Eldrazi tokens and crazy things. There's even some creatures you sacrifice, you might be gaining life. This thing can be a great equalizer. Always pay attention to cards like that. All right, Vexing Bauble. $5.12 is the average. The market is $3.13. 8,420 sales is our number 2 card. I put asterisks here for a reason. I had to stop the sales count because I couldn't keep going. It was getting too late at night, so I apologize. This is as far as I got before I had to quit my sales count, and I apologize to all the sources out there that give me the info. There was just too much to go over. I apologize. Now, Vexing Bauble. What do we got here? Let's move it on. This is an artifact that says whenever a player casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast it, counter that spell. Sacrifice, Vexing Bauble, draw a card. Now I'm an old fogey, guys, so just fill me in here. Would this stop like Storm? Would this stop like Flusterstorm and stuff where it storms across? Does it stop those things or not? Somebody put that in the comments section if you made it this far in the video. I am curious. I think it would stop it, right? That's my non-judge opinion. But you guys are going to let me know. Somebody's going to school the Moxman. Now let's go to our number 1 card. This is the one that made it to the top. Urza's Cave. $3.79 is the average. The market's $2.89. Again, I had to stop counting. You notice the asterisk there. 9,300 sales. I ended on an even point. I was exhausted. Now, for June 8th to the 14th, that means this thing had 35,000 $247 of sales action. It's no surprise this card is in the top 5. I'm not surprised by that at all. I'm surprised that the price continues to fall, which makes me think there's a real glut out there. I remember those orders, pre-orders of hundreds of copies, and now they've all been met, and we still have cards coming onto the market. So this is an Urza's Cave, okay? And it's a land. It taps for colors, but it says sacrifice Urza's Cave, search your library for a land card, put it onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. And remember, there's cards that can copy cards in graveyards, so there's ways of using this more than once in a game. Whether it's in Modern, Vintage, Legacy, or Commander, pay attention to this card for your future. Now those are some tremendous sales numbers for Modern Horizons 3, especially for the singles market. Now, comparing product to product, if we go back to Modern Horizons, and then Modern Horizons 2, and then Modern Horizons 3. The sealed product sales still favor what we saw in Modern Horizons 2. Different era, different time, different financial institution of where our economy was at. But it is what comes out ahead. Modern Horizons 3 has not sold as many boxes that I can record and what I have reviewed in my opinion. But at the same time, the singles market is blowing everything out of the water from what we saw in Modern Horizons 2 and way more than Modern Horizons 1, the original. So where does that leave us as a product? Well, it's going to let us know that although these week over week sales are far in excess of anything we saw from Modern Horizons 2, we don't know what's going to happen 2 weeks from now. The closer we get to things like Assassin's Creed and Bloomberg, which is just a few weeks away, more spoilers will come up and the money might be cannibalized. We might see people say, okay, I've spent enough, there's cards I still want, but I got to know what's going on with Bloomberg. I got to see what's in Assassin's Creed, and I got to decide where I'm going to spend my money. So you might see these products kind of all have a kind of trending down sales volume based on the fact that there's too many products too crushed close together. You got to be aware of it because there will be opportunities to get some of these cards at a cheaper price point as people try to flip those markets and flip into the next product, which leaves gaps and holes in how expensive some of these cards are going to be. And that means you can come out ahead. Anyway, thanks a lot for hanging out. Thanks for being here on the channel. I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow for the reserve list top 10. There was a lot of movement and multiple buyouts on the reserve list that you guys might want to be aware of for the future. Thanks again, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. And of course, a big shout out and thank you to all the fantastic patrons and supporters of my channel who show up each and every day. Because of those supporters, we've got daily uploaded content. Either you're a patron, a viewer, or a YouTube membership member, you guys make it happen on this channel. So thanks again for being supporters. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow with another video. Everyone, have a great day today.